Hi guys, welcome back to Professor Hank. In this video, I'm going to walk you through some of the basics of strings in Kotlin. So string processing in a programming language is important, no matter what the programming language is, and Kotlin is certainly no exception. In this video for beginners, I'm just going to walk you through a couple of the fundamentals of strings and get you started on using strings in your Kotlin programs. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at it. I'm going to shift us on over to IntelliJ, and we'll get started. You can see I already have a project here. So we're going to need to have our basic function main ready to go. And to create a variable of type string, we're going to need that var keyword, and then we'll have to have a name for our variable. So we'll do something like name, and then we'll assign it a string inside of double quotes. And bam, there you go. Now, if I wanted to print out that string, I could pass the variable as an argument to the print function. And that's going to print out my name on the screen once this thing finishes compiling. And so there you go. You can see it right there. So that's the basics of getting it a string variable declared. Now let's look at some of the other things that you can do. So we can explicitly state that we're using a string. So we can do something like var last equals Hank, right? So we can do something like var name or var last string, okay? And that says that this is going to be variable of type string. We're being explicit about it. Then we can say my last name, right? Stalica, and then we can print that out as well. Right, so we can do something like this, and a couple different ways that you can declare strings there. Now, next thing we can do is we can see that, you can see there's my name right there, that we can access individual elements of the string similar to the way you can do it in languages like Java, which Kotlin is intimately related with, or C++ with a string variable. So for example, I could do something like this. I could say print name of 2, right? So we can use indexing to access individual elements of our string. So that's going to get me the third character in name, right? Because it's like an array. It's like array notation. So that gets me into that third character. Now, some of you might look at that going, well, I see a 2. Why am I getting the third character? Remember, just like in other programming languages, you start the counting at 0, and 0 is the beginning of the counting. So that's why it's got to be a 2 on there. Okay, so another thing that we can do is we can find the length of the string. So you can do something like this, name.length, okay, and that will return the number of characters in the string. So maybe I'll do something like this. I'll say, the length of the string is, I'll do some appending there, and that'll print out what? It'll print out the string, the length of the string is, and then the length of my string, which is Hank, which will be 4. So there you go right there, because there's 4 characters. You can also add them together. You could do something like var total length equals name.length plus last.length. Okay, so you can do something like that, and then we can print that out. Say something like the total length of your entire name is, and then we can do total length here. Okay, and so then when we do that, you can see we can do a little bit of arithmetic operations with length here. And you can see that the total length of your entire name is 11. And there's 7 characters in my last name, 4 in my first name. So yeah, it makes sense that we get 11. Okay, so that's another thing you can do. Another thing we can do is we can convert to upper and lower case. So let's see how that would work. So let's make this print line, so that way it ends up on its own line. So we could do something like name.uppercase. Okay, so something like that. And so what that'll do is that'll return a copy of the string that's stored in name, in this case, Hank, and then it's going to return that as all uppercase. So I'll go ahead and I'll print that on the screen. Okay, and just to show you what that looks like. Another thing we can do is we can print in lowercase, so we can do print line name.lowercase. Okay, and that'll return a lowercase version of my name as a string, so you'll see that conversion there. So you can see there's the uppercase version and then there's the lowercase version. So no problems, so far so good. And we can compare strings to see if they are the same or not. So we can do something like this. We can say, we'll use a method, and the method's called compare to. So use compare to compare strings. So I can do something like this. I can say name dot compare to. Okay, and then I can put in some other string that I'm comparing with. So last, right? So this is gonna be a comparison between the string that's stored in name and then last. So this is going to look kind of familiar too, I think, to some of you Java people. So we can do that, and let's print and see what we're going to get as a response. Okay, and it's going to use, probably something that you're used to, which is, an integer. So you see how it says -11 here? So what's happening is that it's comparing. If they were the same, then you would get 0. Okay, and if they're not, then you get a negative number that's specifying that this left side is less than, basically. They're not the same. Now we could do something like last.compare and go ahead and run that. I said go ahead and run that. Right, so now you can see that it's 11, right? So, it's showing you that there's a difference by using an integer value. So basically, if you wanted to check to see if they were the same, you would just compare against what's returned by the compare to method. If it's 0, they're the same. If not, then it's not. So what this is 0 means they are the same string, right? Or they match. Okay, so that's one thing we can do. We can also find a string within a string. So we can do something like this. We can find a string within a string using what? We'll use the the index of, using the index of method. Okay, so what that'll do is that we'll search your string for a particular substring, and if it finds it, then it'll return the index of the first character within the substring. So something like this. So we can do something like bar x, or maybe POS equals last dot index of, and then I'll put in a string that we'll search for. So what we'll search for is maybe ALI. Okay, so we'll put that in there as an argument, ALI, and then we'll see what that gives us back. And I don't want this hint here, so let's kill it. Okay, disable hints, just so it's not interfering. Okay, and then we'll print out the result. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and do it and see what number it gives us. Okay, so it gave us 2. All right, so why 2? Because Ali, right here in my name, the first is 0, the second index is for T is 1, and then the third index for A is 2. So that's why we return 2. It gives you the first index, or gives you the index of the first character of the substring. Now, let's see what we would get if we tried to search for a substring that's not in there at all. What number we're going to get back. So like, there's no in my name. So let's see what we get back. See what value, -1, right? So -1 means, I didn't find any match. Okay, so -1 means no match. Otherwise, you get the index of the first character of the substring within the string you are searching through, okay, or searching in, I guess you could say. So you can do that. If we want to have quotes within a string, so you might want to be able to say something like var sample equals this is Hank's demo. Okay, so you can have single quotes inside of the double quotes, and that's not going to be a problem. Okay, you just can't have double quotes inside of the double quotes. So if we print the sample out, you can see this is Hank's demo. If you tried instead to do something like this, well, that's going to be a problem, because here's the closing quote and here's the opening quote, right? So that's not going to work. Okay, so we can do that. We can do string concatenation. So I already kind of showed you string concatenation. What's string concatenation? That just means that you are combining two strings together. So we could do something like this. We could do my name is, right? And then we'll do a plus here, and then we can do name, which was, contains my first name. And then if I want a space in between, we can do that. And then my last name. Okay, so that's an example of string concatenation. So, you just use plus to add everything together, right? To create a brand new, bigger string. So then you can see there's the result right there. My name is Hank Stalica. So, I mean, string processing, pretty easy. I mean, compared to this to like C, right? And doing manipulations with C strings. Total pain in the butt, right? So another thing you can do is you can do name dot plus, and then you could put last, for example, right? And so then that would do concatenation, just putting my first name and last name together, which is the name string, the last string. And then you'll see it's not quite as pretty because it's just Hank Stalica, right? But we can combine these ideas. We could do something like boom, boom, oops. We could do something like boom, boom, plus, right? So that'll do a little bit of concatenation in here, putting a single space with my last name after it. So in that way, you'll get Hank space Stalica as soon as this finishes building. So see, there you go. So all kinds of different options here. And then the last thing we'll talk about is the using string templates. So that's how you can put a string inside of a string, I guess you could say, or that's how you could put variables, I should say, in expressions inside of a string. So you do something like this, and this will be the last thing that we look at. So we can do something like my name is, and then we use this $ here, and then we're going to use the variable name, which was first, and then we'll do the $ again, and we'll do a variable name, which was last. Okay, and my name, I didn't have first, it was called name, right? Name, there we go. So then you can combine, much more complex strings, right? Maybe even do, maybe something like var y equals 55, right? And then you could put in here y, okay? And so then you can do that. So, I mean, you've got some flexibility. So you can see, here you go. Here's my name is Hank Stalica. That's the result of this. I forgot to do print line up here. That's why that's why they're stuck on the same line. So let's fix that and we'll check it out. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can do with strings. There you go. My name is Hank Stalica 55, which it's not, but you get the idea. So you've got all kinds of options with these fundamentals of strings, right? So what did we look at? We looked at concatenation. We looked at a couple of sample procedures that you can use, sample methods, sample functions, using index of. We looked at uppercase, lowercase. We looked at comparing strings using compare to. We looked at string concatenation using plus. We looked at how you can find the lengths of strings, how you can declare string variables. Okay, so then that's going to bring this video to a close. If you're a student of mine, have any questions, please feel free to email me. As always, stop by my office hours, hit me up on Zoom. For everybody else, if you thought the video was useful, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you thought the video sucked, you got the thumbs down button there as well. Please consider supporting the channel in various ways. You can subscribe, you can join as a member with additional perks for as little as 99 cents a month. You can hit super thanks, leave a comment, whatever. But most of all, thanks for watching. I hope it helps, and we'll see you next time.